Hi guys, welcome back. I bet you can hear it in my voice. Welcome back to Tip Talks 22. So, as I have been looking into Jelani's case, and I still intend to do an additional reading for him, because I feel like so much is coming to light. Um, this name caught my attention, and I was like, let me see who that is. So, here we go down another rabbit hole. Um, so before we're going to talk about Daniel Robinson today. Daniel is a geologist, 24 years old. He disappeared from, allegedly, he disappeared from a work site. This is what they've told the police. That's why I said allegedly. He disappeared from a work site in Buckeye, Arizona. And I think his family was in North Carolina. And so once they were finally notified, his dad hopped on a plane and flew to Arizona and has been kind of conducting his own searches, organized searches every weekend looking for his child. Let me tell you about the circumstances surrounding Daniel. Well, one, he was born, I think, this way with no right forearm. So, like he's missing a hand, and part of his forearm. That's one thing. But so he was still an adventurous kid. Well, as you can see, he became a geologist, right? So he loved outside, he loved nature. And his side hustle was Instacart, living there in Phoenix. And so I actually read a couple of articles about the case. Once his name was kind of put on my radar via Twitter, his name was kind of put on my radar. And so I read a couple articles about the case. So I decided to pull some cards. And I initially got that there was something about a woman involved here, which is why I'm definitely going to be using the Romance Oracle deck and probably the Love Tarot. I've really been thinking about these cards though, so I'm pretty sure they're going to get used, the Romance Oracle deck. But anyway, so I'm like, they're not mentioning anything about his love life though. So here I go, second guessing myself, right? And then I'll be damned. I run across an article about some text messages to this woman named Caitlin. And in this article, it just says that it's a woman that he met as he was delivering groceries to her Instacart. And she and her friend were there having drinks, and they invited him in because he seemed nice. Okay? So remember that. We go from that energy. Y'all can't see me today because I'm looking a mess. That's all. Well, not a mess. I just got my bandana on and whatnot. Anyway, so I'm not trying to be seen. That's all. So it went from that to after that day, which I thought was a weird transition. Like I feel like some information's missing in between. But it went from we invited him in because he seemed like a nice guy to Daniel had popped up at her house unannounced a couple times, and she didn't want to see him anymore. Okay, I hear a lot of the reports. I feel like a lot of the news articles and the stuff that we're getting is leaving that out. But I feel like it has played a major role in Daniel's disappearance. So I thought that was pretty strange. So today, as I was this afternoon, evening, night, as I was meditating on him in preparation of doing this reading to record it, I ran across another article with complete screenshots. Well, she screenshotted them and sent them to the police. So who knows what the hell she deleted, right? But anyway, um, this lady, her name is Caitlin. So, um, in these particular screenshots, mind you, it's the only one article that I found with all these complete shots like this. Um, you can tell that it was not just like one time that they saw each other, because they're painting it like this was just unrequited love. He met a lady one time and he became infatuated and fell in love with her. No, I feel like they had a connection. When I saw this article listing the text messages, it said from her, well, he asked her, could he come pick up his canopy that he had left at her house? I don't know what the hell a canopy is. I mean, I know what it is, but I'm like, what does that mean? Is that like the little tent that we think of? You know, like that you take to football games and stuff? Like, that's the only thing I could think of. And she was like, yeah, do you want me to leave it and you can pick it up from my house tomorrow when I leave for work? I'll leave it outside. And then another text said, it's in the garage. I have to get it for you. And then he's like, I really enjoyed, like they had something going on. Okay. But it's being painted in the media like he was stalking her, kind of. But I feel like she is not telling the whole story, for one. And then two, his dad said he had mentioned being in love with somebody. He said, but he didn't seem to know anything about the woman, right? So that's possible as well. But I just really don't feel like they are getting the entire story about this romantic connection from her. Even in the way the text messages were coming in, there were like some blanks in there, you know? So either she didn't respond, which is likely, I mean, not likely, but possible, or she just didn't give us all of the correspondence, because he had definitely been over her house a couple times unannounced. But I feel like he had been there with her more than just that one time with friends, right? So I wanted to take a look and see if we can connect to Daniel's energy today. And I specifically want to ask because I feel like either way, his reaction to their romantic connection is part of, or is at the root of, this disappearance. Okay? But I feel like it's very possible that it could be dismissed as, you know, a psychiatric break as a result of being rebuffed romantically by this woman. But I don't feel like I said, this woman is telling the whole story. So I'm going to see what our cards have to say. All right? So let's go. So, angels and spirit guides, let's start off. Is Daniel I had to sage my cards. And I'm trying to be very careful, guys, about what I say, what I see, right? One, because you're dealing with real people and people's lives. So, of course, you always want to be careful and not just be calling shit out. Like, I tried to watch a couple readings, and I don't feel like they were just calling stuff out. But I feel like it was like a whole bunch of nothing. Like, no real interpretation, sensationalized. I watched literally two One of them, her dog was barking so much in the background, I could not even take it, so I turned that off. The other one, um, I don't know, it just seemed like weird energy, so I had to cut that off too. Anyway, angels and spirit guides, let's do a Celtic cross spread for Daniel. First I want to know, is Daniel still, is he alive? Is he in the 3D, in the physical realm? Is Daniel here in the physical realm? He is. Wheel of Fortune. He is. So let me explain about his car. His vehicle was flipped. The area that they searched, they found his vehicle 4 miles from the work site that he was at in the desert with this co-worker that he just decided to wave goodbye from. And he left that area. So his car was ultimately found 4 miles away from that site by a rancher. But the rancher said there's no way that car had been there for a month, because had it been there, he would have found it and his cows would have found it. Also, the car, the way it was found, like, the data box said that the car, after the crash, because the airbags deployed, first of all, the seat belts were still on. The airbags deployed, and after the crash, the car was still driven like 11 miles, and it was like cranked up over 40 times from the time of the crash until where they ultimately found it. So all that's weird. That sounds like a staged crash or crash site there. So just lots of questions, okay? But as you can see with that Wheel of Fortune card, it says that Daniel is still alive. Let's see. Is Daniel safe? Is Daniel safe? Is Daniel safe? Okay. So I would say yes. This Six of Pentacles is a card of charity. So that tells me that he could be either recipient or receiving some type of charitable help, or giving. Given the circumstances of his case, I would put him on the receiving end. What else can you tell me about this Six of Pentacles? Angels and spirit guides. What can you tell me about this Six of Pentacles? You have a King of Swords and a King of Cups. And the Sun card. So, let's talk about this King of Swords. King of Swords is kind of a restrained, emotionally detached energy. They kind of deal in logic. They usually have like strong morals, right? They make decisions guided on principle. And like they are brave and kind of calm in the face of challenge, right? But then you have this King of Cups here, who is almost not an opposite energy, but this king is definitely someone, because he's a king who has been through some things, right? who's seen some things. Like it hasn't always been smooth sailing. So this is someone who's like emotionally balanced, right? The King of Cups is in touch with their emotions, but they know when to extend that energy and when to pull it in and be more logical. Does that make sense? They are like super emotionally balanced and harmonious. So something that caught my eye or my attention was that there was a monastery in the search for Daniel. There's a monastery in the desert area that he is said to have gone in the direction of. Um, so, whew, I wonder if they've looked into that or not, or if they can. But then, of course, this sun card, the sun card, makes perfect sense. Could be a lot of things. Could be the fact that he is in the desert, right? And this monastery was there in the desert, okay? Like the way it looked, just surrounded by lots of dirt, sand, dirt, whatever it is in the desert, and like no buildings or anything around it. I think it was like 2 stories from the picture that I saw. So it's so odd that this would come out because there's a video. The lady was driving past it, but I didn't see any vehicles out there. Definitely saw some windows open or whatever. Not windows, like blinds. On the top floor, I noticed a window. But the lady didn't stop there. She didn't talk to anybody there. She was just driving, so I didn't watch the rest of her video. But this sun is just light. It's warmth. It's usually happiness. It's positive energy, usually. Right? So let me see. Angels and spirit guides, what do I need to know about the Six of Pentacles? The Six of Pentacles. Okay. Clarify this Seven of Swords. So there's an energy of a young person here that is in a deceptive energy. Like, I say deceptive, like lying to themselves perhaps, or just even sneaky, keeping their keeping their cards close to their deck. And then you have here the Eight of Pentacles. That's someone who's just focused on a skill, a craft, acquiring or attaining money. Then you have here the Ten of Swords and the Chariot card. Clarify those two for me. Okay, that's what I got. Okay, so intuitively I was thinking that this is, I feel like, of course, his car being found was staged. I feel like it's something that he did. He staged that. He left his stuff there. I should also tell you that there had been a time previously where recently, well, prior to his disappearance recently, where he left his house. He left his house open his apartment open, unlocked, with all his stuff still there, and he was gone for an extended period of time before he finally showed back up. Okay, so but his family said it's never been longer than 6 hours. Either way, that had happened recently. It was kind of odd. They felt like he had been speaking in a kind of odd way, like saying things that just kind of weren't super coherent or didn't make much sense. And that's one of the texts that he had sent the girl, Caitlin, was that he would either see her again or never see her again. Something weird, where she was just like, okay, what does that mean? Okay, so then when I saw this Ten of Swords and the Chariot card, the Ten of Swords is usually a card of desperation, of the end of the road kind of energy. So I felt like this was the card being placed where it was, like being staged. And then you have here his family being brokenhearted, or his family being disappointed. So I feel like that's at the discovery of this vehicle. Okay. Clarify this Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is intuition. It is discernment. Yeah. So I feel like that was staged. And then you have the Six of Swords here. So you got the Queen of Swords here, the Knight of Swords, and the Six of Swords. I feel like it was staged so that it would look a certain way. So the police, these Knights of Swords, that's my law enforcement energy sometimes, often, just like these people. Which is why I kind of had to like be really clear about what I was getting from this card. But anyway, the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Swords energy. I feel like this was a setup for them so they could be satisfied, like that this is what happened, so that he can kind of sell off into his place of peace. All right. So when I heard some of the things that he was saying, and the way that his coworker said he would look at him, he kind of thought he was high because he kept staring off into the distance, staring off into the desert. And he said, I looked at his pupils, like, and his pupils weren't dilated. So I figured he was fine, just, being weird. And he said that Daniel had mentioned something about, and let me tell you this card too. This card is also a card of freedom, right? So if you're in a monastery, you don't have a care in the world. You've left your civil life behind. I definitely think that would be a space of happiness, a space of freedom. But his coworker said, I'm gonna pull Romance Tarot. His coworker said that he had mentioned, have you ever been in love with someone that you couldn't have, or something like that. He said he could tell he was talking about a woman, but it just didn't make a lot of sense to him. So that made me also think, because when you're going through a spiritual awakening, what usually happens is something major triggers it. So when you're going through a spiritual awakening, um, this is often triggered by something. It could be something romantic, a major ending in romance. It could be loss of a job. It could be loss of a loved one, randomly, tragically, shockingly. It's just, it could be a near-death experience, just something that makes you say, what is the purpose of life, right? So when I first started hearing about him, I was like, okay, I wonder if that's something that had to do with that. But I thought of it, but only for a flashing second. So the more that I learned, I felt like, I wonder if this is what that is. So I'm definitely going to pull out my Angel Tarot. But I also want to ask about Miss Caitlin. What was the connection between he and Caitlin? Past, present. Give me something for the past between he and this lady. Okay. Anything else with them? Okay. Okay. So yeah, their time together was short, but I feel like it was not as short as she's saying, right? I feel like their time together, like there may have been some red flags where she was like, oh no, I made a mistake. So let me clarify and see. Because you have here, pay attention to the red flags. There were signs cautioning you. And then you have here, express your love. So someone still chose to go ahead and make a romantic gesture. Then you have attraction. This is about enjoying the moment fully. So I feel like there was some type of exchange there. We'll see. Then you have getting to know each other, revealing your innermost selves to one another, deepening a bond. But then you have the separation and healing, okay? Healing family issues. So I feel like this is where she rebuffed him, and yeah, he kind of disappeared. Okay. So Spirit, let's clarify, pay attention to the red flags here for Daniel and Miss Caitlin. Okay, and that's part of what I felt too. Okay, so he was really smitten with her. She may have been kind of, and I feel like he was in an energy where he was open to something major, of course. But she might have been like kind of super blunt and honest with him. Maybe that she was dating several people. But he may have been stuck on an idea of something with them, like I'll be able to wear her down. And he was still expressing romantic feelings toward her. Okay. Okay. So clarify, express your love. And I think I'm going to look at this romance in more than one way. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture is what it says. So yeah. Maybe he came on too quickly. Maybe she was being friendly, and he tried to change it into something more. And he might have came on a little strong. I feel like she definitely gave him a little more attention though than she is letting on. Yeah. Clarify attraction. Yeah. So here he is wanting this new beginning, right? She's guarded though. And she felt instinctively that it was going to be a no. So she shut that down with the death card. She shut it down. Okay. So then that also, let me give you this other possibility up here. With this Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is someone who is in a charitable energy, who is nice, who is kind, who is giving a little bit more. It can also be a card of over giving in a connection, right? So that King of Swords is direct communication. So maybe she I don't know. There may be an energy where she directly let him know, yeah, this is not going to work. But here he is thinking she is amazing with this King of Cups energy. Just because she was kind of friendly, right? So she removed her emotions from that situation. But it was too late because he was already like attracted. So I look at this card. So when she invited him in, getting to know him, it was like, yeah, no, this is not gonna work. And it's so odd because on this card you have two women here and one guy getting to know each other. And I really feel like this King of Cups is actually him. King of Cups, someone who's connected to their emotions, someone who is loving, right? It's a card of a lot of love when you're in a romantic connection. So as as they were trying to get to know each other, hanging out, perhaps, like she said, she and the other person, a lady, had been drinking. He might have misread that signal. So clarify separation and healing. Mm. Is she married? Mm. So either she has a husband and she tried to put up some boundaries with him, or she told him she was reconciling with someone and still boundaries, right? Wow. That's the energy I'm getting. And then healing family issues. That well could be her relationship, her connection, or this could be him in this energy. And here he is as the fool, but healing, right? Yeah. Ask for and accept support from others. So you have let your friends help you. Clarify, let your friends help you. Mm. Okay. So this is someone, yeah, he was heartbroken. He was heartbroken by the blockage. This Knight of Swords energy, she might have had someone either say something to him, like back off, or she might have just spoken to him really harshly. And he tried to work but couldn't because he was feeling this emotional loss, which may be why he left the job so abruptly that morning. Yeah, in this daydreamy energy. Mm. So he takes off because he's over here daydreaming, feeling burdened, overwhelmed, just in an obsessive energy about his empress. And you know what? Yeah, in the Chariot card, conflict. With this King of Pentacles, that same energy that I said, is she in a relationship? So she might have how do you say, got one of her friends to either talk to him, masculine energy. Friends or husbands, or maybe he decided he was going to compete with this situation. Yo. I feel like they need to look into this situation with this young lady and like seriously look into it. I need her to be honest about the depths of their contact. I need her to be honest about the last time she actually saw him. The last time that he popped up at her house. Because one time he popped up and she said, "I see you on the camera." She texted him that. So she had a Ring camera. So she knew when he was at her house or whatever. Even if she wasn't there. But also his friends. The friends, like, this is a card of conflict. Like from him traveling, leaving off site here. Can you guys see that? You have this card of conflict. I'm assuming with this person. Okay. This person is the masculine energy. It's the protector, the provider, right? But it's also the same card that I said, was she married? When I said, was she married, or did she have a man that she was getting back with? It's that energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. And this is a card of marriage, but this can also be a card of traditionalism. It can be a card of religion. And then you have him, which I believe this is Daniel's energy, going off into the dark, into the unknown, right? And undergoing some type of transformation is the way I'll say that. Because I don't believe he's dead. This death card is here. But that death card is also about transformation. It's about major change, right? King of Wands energy, King of Swords energy. Clashing egos, direct communication. Could be an ego death. And the Hangman, withdrawing, taking a step back. So I would definitely look into that monastery if I were them. And I would check her romantic partnerships or relationships. But I do not believe Daniel is dead. I believe Daniel is still in the 3D at this time. Let's see. Magical times. Can you guys tell us anything about Daniel's current location? What can you tell us about Daniel's current location? Daniel Robinson. Faith, dignity, dreamer, rebirth. What'd I say? You have a card of faith. You're not alone. Where's my water? Believe you're not alone. Ask for guidance. You have a card of dignity. Take pride in yourself and all that you have become. Let me tell you these cards: dignity, dreamer, and rebirth, and faith. But mostly these three are all about awakenings, are all about new beginnings, okay? Your dreams have chosen you. Find fulfillment in pursuing your destiny. And then no matter what happens, you can find new wings, rise from the past, and accept the positive change that's coming. Elegance, integrity. Drop the things that offend your soul. Elegance is found in the beauty of nature, the lotus waiting to bloom, and the lotus is they grow out of muddy water, right? So this is someone who's had a dark or murky past, growing and evolving from a negative situation. And then humor, lighten your heart, let nothing steal your happiness. So that is about getting rid of past hurts, pains, and just living a life of enlightenment, of joy. So I really feel like this young man is going through a spiritual awakening. I feel like he is being helped from someone. Yeah. Card of discernment. Use your intuition. See the truth of the situation. Do not be fooled. Pay attention. Your intuition knows. Let compassion fill your world. Offer kindness to all living things. So that mercy card for me comes out when it's like somebody needing to be kind of let down easy in a heartbreak. Okay. It could also be, look at the card, a card of charity, a card of giving, a card of compassion, a card of understanding. Definitely religious. Daniel is being reborn. Daniel is processing this loss, but that's not all. I feel like he is awakening, which means he's going to be doing some emotional purging. And I don't feel like he's alone. I feel like somebody's walking him through this process. He definitely suffered an emotional loss, but I don't feel like he's alone. And I don't feel like it was by force. Yeah, look at this card. This is a card of healing. This is a card of emotional healing. This is a card of mental health break, like taking some time, taking a mental health day. And then look at this stained glass window in the back. I feel like definitely they need to check this monastery. This Page of Pentacles energy came out before that. That's a new beginning, okay? That's a new beginning in life. That's somebody who's kind of starting fresh, starting anew, starting over. It's a card of what? Of rebirth. All right? And if he is not thinking clearly, then, people would be like, why would he do that to his family? Nope. If he's not thinking clearly and that's not the state that he's in, and he's just wanting to heal or remove himself from this pain, the pain of the heartbreak, then he's not thinking about them. Okay. Oh, let me see with these cards. Guys, what does this deck say? So I feel like he thought someone was perfect. It was bittersweet because he couldn't have her. This is that sadness, that heartbreak, desire, wanting something so badly. It's a card of love and gratitude. Crown chakra energy, though. So that's religion. That's your connection to God, connection to source. Along with this instinct card, your connection to spirit. And this is a card of distraction. But also a card of fixing the problem that is at the core, like a card of healing. Okay, so I feel like there's a need for them to look into that. I wonder if that's like a violation of some law for them to like walk up in the monastery. Like, we need to see if Daniel's here kind of energy. I don't know. But I get that energy. These are the love tarot. I don't want to ask them. Angels and spirit guides, what can you tell me about Daniel's current location? What can you tell me about Daniel's current location? New partnership. And it's two men on this card. New partnerships, moving forward. Fading away, your concerns fading away. Positive change. Giving to those less fortunate. Y'all. Somebody tell them to check that monastery out. I hope that I'm just not wanting to avoid seeing anything sinister. But at this point, I just really don't. Aside from the fact that his family is hurting and missing him. Um, and I'm trying not to go off camera so that I'm not forced to do another reading because I didn't look as deeply into things as I needed to the first time. You know what I'm saying? Angels and ancestors. What can you tell me about where Daniel Robinson is right now? I know, they're like, take the cards, Tiffany. What can you do? Okay. Take it out. Look at this card. Shalom Master. Does he have the look of a monk? Monastery kind of energy? I said Shalom. Shaolim Master. Gentler approach. Subtlety and grace. Moving with the flow of life rather than pushing against it. Slowing down. Soften and breathe as you move forward. So, they need to check into that. Do y'all remember when Martin and Gina, when Martin had ran away to be in that monastery? I swear I've been thinking about that like a couple times today. And I ain't seen a Martin episode in a long ass time, but that popped into my head. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there. But the good news is, he is not dead. Okay? I stand on that. Let me take a look. One last deck. The Work Your Light Oracle. Angels and Spirit Guides. Regarding Daniel's location now. What is going on with Daniel? Probably should have used this deck first because... Yeah! What did I say? I should have used this deck first because this is what I felt. What does that say at the bottom? Can you guys see that? Awakening. Energetic upgrades. A new way of being. Do something to change your energy. Starseed, what lights you up? So he is awakening. They should check if he, and I know that's kind of close to the border too, if he ever talked about going somewhere there, Mexico, look for him. That monastery though, most definitely look for him. What did I say? I'm so mad I took that long. That's okay. I'm confident that he'll be fine. I saw a thing though that his dad was wanting to search in Phoenix, like the homeless sites and whatnot. That makes a lot of sense to me. Because you often get in an energy where you just want to give, you just want to be helpful, you know, to society. You don't want to be caught up in the trappings of the world and those things. So yay, for that to come out at the end and I just picked those up randomly, seemingly randomly. Thank you, Spirit, for your guidance. Yeah, I'm going to post this reading because I was thinking about maybe I won't, but I will. Hope this was helpful, guys. Bye-bye.